Well, it all started with a comment that one of my girlfriends made because we were out in the laneway and the OC Transpo bus had just went by, and at the time I had been training to become a school bus operator. And one of the girls just asked me, hey, can you imagine yourself driving a big thing like that? And I remember telling her, oh, sure, why not? But like inside, I figured they're crazy. The first time around, they'd refused me because I was too small. And then one day I was reading the newspaper and they told me about the OC Transpo having mini drivers, mini buses, and now that they would hire mini drivers. And with that, well, I called and then they had me come down and I proved to them that my legs and my arms were long enough, like in the sitting position that I'm in now. And well, as you can see, I've been here for 11 years.
Well, I climbed in the cab and I got that engine running. I made a couple of tons of steel obey. I sat in that cab and I felt so at home. That's when I knew what I wanted to do 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day is 2,000 hours a year. I don't want to waste that time on something dull and drear. I'm still surprised that makes me some kind of pioneer. So I tell my sisters to go for the career.
When I started ambulance, it was more a man's job, and there was only 2 other females that were working, trying to break the ice. I was the third one, and we weren't accepted very well at first because this was all new to the men. But once we proved ourselves and showed them that we could do the job, they accepted us quite well.
I thought that becoming a role model, I could encourage other students to consider maybe electrical engineering as a career choice, or if not that, maybe something else that they're interested in and maybe that they're afraid to try. And just to be able to relate to them, I felt that the best way of doing it was becoming a role model and going out to the high schools and speaking.
I know that I was the only girl in my high school class that went into engineering simply because I wasn't really aware of it until the last minute. And I thought that any program that could help girls know a bit more and make that decision-making a little bit easier would be very helpful.
I picked up the slide and I looked through the microscope and I saw the world in a different way. I looked at that slide and I saw the magic there. That's when I knew what I wanted to do 8 hours a day.
Having 4 daughters, my wife and I have a vested interest. I want them to be well employed. I want them to have a good life. And going back a step further, I suppose, when I think of my mother, she gave so much to us and to society in general. I don't think society was that good to her. And I really feel at an emotional level that I want to help. I feel there's still a lot of stereotyping. I see it in my own daughters, in listening to them. There is that stereotyping, and it's there. And it's not that easy to break these stereotypes, as we all know. So that, again, it gave me impetus to keep trying in this area. Because if we don't, anybody, if I had sons, I'm sure young boys need so much encouragement. So if you're in a league where you're getting a lot of pressure not to develop, you have to have somebody in your corner. And we hope that we're those somebodies that at least help a little bit.
Many of the young women still have that stereotyped image of themselves. But I think a lot of the re-entrant women into the workforce are starting to realize that they may have already been through an economic era where they realized that the skills they had weren't going to supply them with meaningful employment, and now they're realizing they have to look into other areas, expand their whole perception of the workforce.
I guess I had a non-traditional family. My father played a bit more the role of the mother, and we never had the impression that this was a man's job or a woman's job. We didn't have the stereotypes, I guess, that other people might have had. So I felt quite open to this job, you know. I didn't feel that it was woman's work. I felt that I wanted to do this, and I did.
got into sales by way of a female manager that came into our department, and I'd been in the department, I guess, for about 5 years. And I was anxious for something new, and I knew I wanted to get into sales, but I really hadn't told anybody about it, and she was the one that helped me and encouraged me and got me to go for it and helped me get the job that I'm in now. The reason I got involved initially with Open Doors is that I realized how much of a change, how much of a difference this career that I have right now has made to my life. And I'd like to impart the fact to school kids that there are many, many options open to them, and how fulfilling a work life can be, and how much difference it can make to your personal life, and how enjoyable a career can be. You're going to be working for 30 years, so you might as well enjoy it.
I actually think seeing women in non-traditional careers is actually more important for boys than for girls. I think when boys see a woman in a non-traditional career, they come to see that, yes, they are capable, and more important, that they sometimes bring a new dimension to the career. A lot of them also, I think, come to accept, to be comfortable with women in non-traditional careers, and as a result, it breaks down those old mindsets and those old stereotypes. But I've also seen a lot of direct benefits for the young boys themselves. I think the young men hopefully come to the conclusion that if a woman can go into a non-traditional career, they also can go into a non-traditional career and bring a new dimension to it. It therefore opens up a whole gamut of careers to both men and women.
Sometimes this is the situation, they haven't thought of it, like it's out of their consciousness that there's something they can be doing. And part of the reason is they haven't seen people doing in those roles. And if they do, they are people from Toronto, they're people on the TVs, but not someone they know. Having the directory that we publish is the people in the community they heard about, they have seen, or the people who know about them, and they make it more real to them.
This committee has really broadened my experience. I came on as a male in most groups, and I felt I played a certain role. I really felt that I had to, when I was either in a group, I had to be the leader, or I had to play a certain role. On this particular committee, I feel that I'm part of a team. I see a lot more cooperativeness. I see a real common goal, a different approach. It's difficult to describe that it's really different. You get places. There doesn't seem to be as much hurriedness. There seems to be more compassion and understanding, and yet you get the job done.
I'd say what is most fulfilling is the contacts, number one, with the various people on the committee, and to feel a sense of kind of camaraderie with the people that really believe in what you believe in, and to see them all working for a common cause. That's really terrific. We also get really positive feedback from the teachers. I was speaking to one last night who was just really, oh, this is terrific. And she'd been trying to reinvent the wheel of getting people to talk at a career day, and she said this will really be used, and it's really important, and yes, we want to get that message across to the kids. So that's really, really fulfilling.
We're heading in the right direction. The schools are ready now. And if we can continue this work and give schools these ideas and these materials, I think we're going to make a lot of headway in helping young women in particular to realize their potential.
What I find, though, is that there are a lot of interest in the schools, but they need us to be a bridge to the community, and we fill that gap very well.
Well, I looked at the blueprint, and I could understand it. I could tell it would be a beautiful house someday. Well, I looked at the blueprint, and it seemed to speak my language. Well, that's when I knew what I wanted to do 8 hours a day.
I have a 13-year-old daughter. Whenever I first started college, she wasn't too enthused with the idea. Over the past 3 years, though, I've got a lot of support from her. As a matter of fact, she's asked me to come and speak in front of her class about the Pathmakers program, so other young girls can see what options they have.
For me, I have a daughter who's 12 years old, and this
program has, taught her that, it's good to fight for something you believe in, and to help as much as you can. And I think I can reach people, as I said, who like me are from a poor background, and to tell them that we can make it, even though it will be hard, but we can make it.
When I was growing up, I had a lot of support from my parents and the schools that I went to take the courses that I would need, maths and sciences. I know a lot of people don't have support at home with their parents, and I just wanted them to know that they have it with pathmakers will help them, and guidance counselors in the school also.
One time I went to speak at one of my daughter's schools, and for a little while she was quite popular because her mother was a big hit. She was this female operator that went in and spent the whole day talking to students.
I look at my paycheck and it feels such satisfaction. Took the risk and now I'm on my way. And I look at my kids and I know they're proud of me. Our dreams come true because of what I do 8 hours a day.
Another reason why I chose to become a role model is because I knew that once I became an engineer, I would have to communicate with others, and especially with my fellow workers, I would have to perform speeches and different projects and present them in meetings. And I felt that if I spoke in front of a group situation about something that I'm interested in, it would help me a little bit more to prepare for this.
Well, I think it's great. We get a one-day training session which we get to practice public speaking. I participated in the shadow program, so I had a girl following me around for a day, and it was great because I was one-on-one with her.
A lot of times you're so wrapped up in what you're doing in your school life that you don't really sit back and just take a look at your career. But by speaking to a group of students and being able to tell them about engineering and just being able to talk to them about something that I'm interested in, I became even more interested in it.
It's been a really exciting experience and a very rewarding experience.
It's been a very positive experience for me, really. A good learning experience.
If I can just make some sort of a change to one person's life, have one kid say, maybe I can after all, then it's been worthwhile.
8 hours a day is 2,000 hours a year. I don't want to waste that time on something dull and drear. I'm still surprised that makes me some kind of pioneer. So I tell my sisters to go for that career. 8 hours a day is 2,000 hours a year. I don't want to waste that time on something dull and drear. I'm still surprised that makes me some kind of pioneer. So I tell my sisters to go for that career. Well, I climbed in the cab and I got that engine running. I made a couple of tons of steel obey. I sat in that cab and I felt so at home. That's when I knew what I wanted to do 8 hours a day. I picked up the slide and I looked through the microscope, and I saw the world in a different way. I looked at that slide and I saw the magic there. That's when I knew what I wanted to do 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day is 2,000 hours a year. I don't want to waste that time on something dull and drear. I'm still surprised that makes me some kind of pioneer. So I tell my sisters to go for the career. Well, I looked at the blueprint and I could understand it. I could tell it would be a beautiful house someday. Well, I looked at the blueprint, and it seemed to speak my language. Well, that's when I knew what I wanted to do. 8